Hey guys, I wanted to show you the passion fruit plant that I had purchased back in November of 2019. The plant was actually about maybe 5 feet tall. Right now you can see that it's grown quite a bit, and this is only a matter of months. There's quite a bit of fruit here. You can see that they're all hanging here. There's, there's over 20 right now, and they are pretty big. This one right here is probably the first one that was produced. Just to give you an idea of what the size is like, I'm putting a quarter here for comparison. But there are lots and lots of passion fruit hanging here. And the passion fruits are best to be eaten after they've dropped to the floor. If you pick them when they're still on the vine, they're not ripe yet. The flowers are very exotic looking. Let's see if I can find one here. Here's one right here. The flower looks very complex. It's recommended that they are hand pollinated because of the lack of bees that we have nowadays due to global warming. But they're very, very prolific. There's another one right here. This one's probably maybe about, I would say, a week old. They grow very quickly. This one's pretty big. So this is my passion fruit. I built a trellis for it so they can lean on because they love plenty of sun. So there's still plenty of space for it to grow. I want to share a couple other things I have in the garden with you. I have a Augie Terrapita pepper plant. These peppers are actually not very spicy. They taste more like sweet peppers, but according to the web, these are South American chili peppers, and they are one of the more expensive peppers because apparently the plants are really hard to grow from seeds. Show you a couple of other plants I have. Here are a few passion fruit plants that are cuttings from the plant I just showed you. So here's just a few. The average life of passion fruit is about 4 to 5 years, so it's good to get some cuttings so that when the mother plant no longer survives, you have some that can replace that particular plant. I have some figs. I have another tree here. This is called a sapote tree. You can see there's 2 fruits here. This is a South American fruit. Don't really see this in stores because they don't have a really long shelf life, just like figs. I haven't eaten any yet, but these are the only 2 that I have that are actually growing. The others have dropped, and it's possibly because it's in a container right now. And I'm planning to plant it into the ground this winter. My mom also likes gardening, and she planted this bittermelon plant. There's one over here. This is her lemon tree, Myers lemon. Here's some yellow salad tomatoes, very, very sweet. A lot of them have already been picked, so the ones that you see here are not quite ripe yet. Here is a yellow zucchini. These are very good. Good for a zucchini cake or a zucchini bread. This is a guava tree. Lots of guava. They're very small right now, but there's plenty. They should be ripening sometime late this summer. Here's a longan tree. Just planted this into the ground last year. It did produce some fruit in the container last year, but they're very small because of the pot. But hopefully by next year it'll produce more. This is a tomato plant. You can see that there's some tomatoes here. Still green. sugarcane, dragon fruit, this is a tangerine tree, this is an elephant heart plum tree. Okay, I planted this into the ground last year also. Should be producing fruit by next year. I'll make another video on this when I get fruit. Here's some more clustered tomatoes. This one's beginning to ripen. And here are a few more. There's some hiding behind the leaves here. This is a mulberry tree. Here are some figs. These are Cadota figs. These are very, very sweet. They are ripe when they are yellow in color, so these are probably within a day or two of being harvested. This one right here is actually ready to go. And just to give you an idea of how big these Cadotas are, here's the quarter here for reference. So you have comparison of what the size of the Cadotas are. So this is my yard. Plan on continuing more trees because I have some more space. Okay, here is a bitter melon plant that my mom had planted. As you can see, it's still in a pot and it's producing a lot of flowers. It's about 7 feet tall. Here's an interesting plant. This one was given to me by my aunt and uncle. They had purchased their plant at a farmer's market and they made cuttings out of this. And so look at the beauty of the flower. It looks like a lantern. Isn't that cool? So there's several of these flowers here. And I'm going to use my quarter comparison to give you an idea of how big these flowers are. Recognize this plant here? Yes, it's another bitter melon. One of my favorite vegetables. All right, I'll end it here and I'll make some more videos when more vegetables and fruits come into production.